Hey guys and gals, Rycon here. I'm joined today by Isaac Tate from Stormforge Productions and creator of The Ruined Age. So, what is The Ruined Age?
Well, The Ruined Age is a pen and paper role-playing game set in a world where magic does exist. But magic there are no mages or wizards. Magic has evolved into more of a form of technology that has become so mundane that the people of the setting, they don't think of it as magic. Now, the game is set in the age of exploration of the world, so it's almost the equivalent to our world's 17th and 18th century. So the main themes of the game and the book is it's exploration, it's discovery, it's swashbuckling. But if we could sum up the Ruined Age into a very concise catchphrase, it would be pirates with magic.
Pirates with magic. We've seen magic done thousands of times before. How does the magic in your setting differ from other settings?
It differs in two main ways. One, there are no spells to cast, no incantations to say. It's all drawn in a form of rune magic. And this is how a lot of people in the setting know how to do it, because it's almost like a recipe, almost like an instruction manual of how to do magic. The other main way is that we have developed our own magic system for the game that will allow the players to actually draw the magic, to create their own spells. And the way that the system is set up is that they'll be able to create any spell that their imaginations can think of.
So then a player could create a spell to suit a situation that they're in.
Exactly. So there's a lot of components that they can add in or change to the magic that will allow them to overcome any situation that the game can throw at them.
Breaking it down, how exactly does the magic work?
Well, quite quickly, magic works by encapsulating entire concepts into single runes. And you place these runes inside what is called array circles. And the arrangement of all the runes inside the array circles tell the array what spell to cast.
What would be a basic spell that I or anyone else would be able to use?
Well, the very simplest spell that you can cast that a lot of people do use in this setting, that's also in the book, is the very, very simple campfire spell.
Okay, so how would I go about creating that array?
Well, the first part would be to actually draw the outer circle of the array that will contain all the runes within them. Then you want to, because you're doing a campfire spell, you would want the fire rune in the exact center to show that it is the concept that you're working with. After that, you can say, well, you want to contain the fire within the array, so it doesn't go out of bounds, it doesn't set everything on fire outside it, so you put a contain rune in there. Then you want to create the fire, because that is what you're here to do, so you would put a create rune in there, and of course you want to sustain the fire, because you want to keep going all night, so we just put a sustain rune in there. And you don't want a blazing furnace, you don't want a roaring fire, you just want a small campfire, so we'd modify the fire rune with a small rune, showing that it's a very small fire you want to start and sustain throughout the night.
So I'm done drawing the array. What comes next?
Well, now you need to activate it, and the easiest way of activating any array is by using energy. And a lot of times in the setting, this will be fire itself because it's such an easy thing to do. But since you want to create a fire, the best way probably would just be just to hit it. There'll still be a transfer of energy into the array, which will eventually activate it.
So it's physics-based then, transferring kinetic or potential energy from one place to another to power the runes.
Exactly.
I like it.
Another way of powering the arrays is by using blood. And blood is far more efficient than any energy you can put into it. And blood magic is quite a heavy element of the Ruined Age, because there's this payoff that you get with blood magic. You get a stronger effect, you get a quicker effect, but there's this implication of what does it mean when you can just kidnap someone and steal all their blood, and that's killing them.
So that could actually be an occurrence in the world. You could kidnap me for my blood.
Yes, and it does happen quite a bit in the setting, and there's a lot of laws sometimes about when and where you can use blood. But it's quite hard to enforce. You can't really, once you kidnap someone and steal their blood, there's nothing you can do about it.
So we know a fair amount about how the magic works in the game. How do we go about playing it?
We have created our own system, which we call the Sigil system, that we use for the Ruined Age. It is based on the D100 system, so it's a fairly simple system to learn, and we've made it as narrative as we can without impacting the mechanics. So it's more story-based. It's to put the power in the player's hand, so that can combine with the player making their own magic in order to create a very powerful sensation of immersion into the setting.
Right, we know the basics of the magic. We know that this is built off a D100 system. Where does this take place in the world?
The game and the book is mostly focused on the city of Middleburg, which is where all the action will take place. It's a very large city, it is a very metropolitan city, and it is ruled by 4 large trade families, which has taken over much of the city's governance. And they're much like today's large corporations in that they've got a finger in every pie, and eventually, doesn't matter what you do, you'll be working for them in some way. And a large theme of the book is how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And the rich are exploiting this and using a lot of the poor to do their dirty deeds, especially when it comes to things such as blood magic.
What can I expect to be doing for these families? What kind of adventures can I expect to find myself in?
Well, as a player, you're expected to do things that the trade families can't be seen to be doing. Even though they control most of Middleburg, they still have a public image that they have to keep up. So there's a lot of illegal activities that you'll be needing to do. Kidnapping, theft, murder, arson, any sort of criminal activity that they can't be seen to be doing is what the player will be doing for them.
All the fun stuff then?
All the fun stuff.
Now, if I was creating a character, what would my class options be?
Well, in the Rune Age, there aren't actually any classes. It's a very open-ended system, so you aren't restricted in any shape or form of what your character is going to be at the end of the day. You can give it any sort of skills and abilities that you want in order to craft a character that you can really get yourself immersed into.
Awesome, I'm all about immersion, it's my thing. What can I expect to see in the book then, in regards to lore?
Well, there is a lot of lore that we have put into the book. Probably too much for one interview. Right. But we have gone quite in depth about the history of the world, the cultures of the world, how everything sort of fits together in the world to kind of make a living and breathing setting that you can play in, and you'll just be a part of a much grander scheme of things.
So when can we expect to get our hands on this?
It'll be releasing electronically at the end of this year, ready for the Christmas rush.
Thanks for the chat, and thanks for joining us. In the coming weeks, we're going to be delving deeper into the world of the Rune Age, starting off with a playtest so that we can get a better understanding of exactly how the game plays. We're then going to split that up into different sections, break it apart so that we can see how every element comes together to make the game as a whole. I've been Rycon, thanks for joining me, and until next time, stay tuned.